Ready?
Oh, you look wonderful.
Okay. We're ready to go. We're ready to start.
Shall I start talking?
She's gonna let
I'm
Dolly
gonna
ask you some questions,
and
okay?
then we can talk for a minute.
Alright. I was born
Okay, first of all, we want to find out where you were born and how you came to the United States.
yes. I was born in Pinsk. That's a town of Russia. And you know my father in Pinsk. And that was a wonderful time of opportunity to learn Judaism. You think, and then if you come to Pinsk on Saturday, you feel Saturday wherever you go. In the town, in Pinsk, the people who live in Pinsk were all Jews in town, but in the suburbs were all Christians and farmers. Now on Saturday, I shall never forget Saturday. On Saturdays, or when you walk in the street, you know it's special. It's Shabbos. All the stores are closed, and it's quiet. But most of the time I went to the main shul because my brother participated in the choir and I wanted to hear him sing. And they were wonderful Jewish melodies. So I used to go to the Pinsker shul. So the Jewish people in the center, one thing I'll never forget, the town, the Jews lived in the town, in the suburbs or all the going, because they were occupied with the planting field work, and the Jewish people, they were either shoemakers or tailors, and they were all in the center. And there was a synagogue right in there. He loved the synagogue. My brother was a great singer. So I used to walk 10 miles every Saturday to hear my brother singing. And his son was very proud to go with his father to the shul. And the shul, my brother was singing in the choir. His brother here, he was singing. I don't know, younger. They all died.
Now let's all play What's My Line? Now let's meet the members of our What's My Line panel. First, our publisher panelist, Bennett Cerf.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were 3 very important people up at West Point today for graduation exercises. One of them was President Eisenhower, one was General Omar Bradley, and one was Arlene Francis. Now, you guess which one is at my immediate right.
I'd like my full title, Honorary Whack Sergeant.
Wacky.
And to my right is the gentleman who, in the early days, billed himself as the world's worst juggler, Mr. Fred Allen.
Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen. Fred Allen.
I must say that I lived down to it, too, Arlene. And at my right, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady at my right.
Oh, all right.
That was changed, I think. At my right, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who has something bothering her tonight. She wants to know, when you're eating the tongue in the tongue sandwich, is the tongue tasting you or are you tasting the tongue? It's Dorothy Kilgallen. This was fun.
And on my right, another juggler, or really opposite me, a juggler of confusing terminology, our beloved moderator, John Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Tonight, once again, some interesting occupations and some very nice people who've brought them here, and a panel that we trust we'll be able to give a rough time to. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later on, but I think it's time for these experts of ours now to meet the first challenger. So will you sign in, please, ma'am? Elizabeth Rowans, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Rowans, and where are you from, Mrs. Rowans?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland.
That's
Well, it's
right.
nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
We would like to let the panel have a brief, close look at you because it might give them some ideas. So would you take a walk down in front of the panel for me?
Hello, Mr. Rowan.
Mrs. Rowans, how are you?
All right, Mrs. Rowans, over here and sit down next to me, if you will. And we'll see what we can do about making life a little bit unpleasant for the panel. In a nice way, of course. Do you know how we score this operation, Mrs.
Yes,
Rowans?
I
And I
do.
won't explain all of that then. We will merely move now to let the folks who are at home and those who are here in the theater with us know what your line is. All right. The panel's going to have to work this all out. Mrs. Rowans, you all ready? Then we'll just, if you are, say that you are salaried and begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Mrs. Rowans, you're from Baltimore?
Yes, I am.
I can take it for granted you're not on the Baltimore Orioles, may I not?
No.
Do you perform a service of some kind?
I do.
Do people come to you for this service?
Yes, they do.
Do they come to you in groups rather than one at a time?
Sometimes.
Might I come to you for this service?
No.
One down, 9 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Well, might I, Mrs. Rowans?
Yes, you would.
Then is it more likely that females would come to you than males?
Yes.
Are they better off or happier when you're finished with them?
Sometimes.
Well,
Very wise answer.
do they ever come to you because they have to and not because they want to?
Oh, yes.
Now, wait a minute, let's have a small conference here. Well, now, tell you, by golly, that's true. Sometimes.
Well, I hardly know what area we're in that case.
Well, I'm not sure myself, Dorothy, so we can have a lot of fun.
Do you work in what might be called some type of institution?
No.
No, we wouldn't call it an institution. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you, in the process of servicing the person, do you touch the people at any time?
Sometimes I do.
Only occasionally?
That's right.
Not as a regular practice?
Well, actually, what I think Mrs. Rowans means is not absolutely necessary, but in the performance of her functions, she sometimes, as a matter of courtesy, helpfulness, friendliness, could and on occasion does come in physical contact with those who use her services.
John, I'm going to ask for equal time. If I can get it on another network. Well, do you work in any particular, do you work indoors?
I do.
Do you work in an office of sorts?
No.
Not in an office.
No office. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there anything advisory or instructive in your work, Mrs. Rowans?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
Well, Mrs. Rowans, is there anything entertaining in what you do?
I don't think it is.
Would I be entertained?
No, I wouldn't think it was entertaining either. Oh, no, that's four down and six to go, Miss Francis.
Are you a director in any other sense of the word?
Yeah, I am a director in other sense of the word, yes. Director of corporations.
Director of what?
Sir?
Director of corporations, you said?
Director of
Are you by any chance the head of a business that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange?
Yes, I am.
Miss Kilgallen?
I'm dead. Are you in any way connected with merchandising?
With merchandising?
Mm-hmm.
You mean in the sense of a relationship to a big department store?
That's right.
No, I am not.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Ellis.
Is he interested in the automotive business?
Automotive business?
That's right.
I am not.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, do you have anything whatsoever to do with one of our sponsors on What's My Line?
Nothing to do with your sponsors.
I'm sorry.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Does your company own a chain of theaters or motion picture houses?
We do not.
8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, are you strictly interested in money?
By which you mean the banking fraternity or its
Stocks
allied...
and bonds, or
Beg your pardon?
stocks and bonds?
Stocks and bonds. That's very good, Dorothy.
No, not strictly interested in
No.
that.
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Allen.
You're not in politics by any chance.
No politics.
10 down and 9 to
one
go.
more question, John?
I beg your pardon?
Could I have one
Make it
more
55.
question?
Yes, you can have one more question.
Have you been changing the names of half the hotels in the United States?
This is indeed the man who has been changing the names of lots of hotels, but not
Conrad
in the
Hilton.
United States.
Yes, take your back.
You can have Conrad Hilton is right. And actually, I think you're going to do another bit of that international development of yours in Istanbul, are you not?
Yes, we're leaving here on Wednesday to open up a new hotel in Istanbul, Turkey.
Golly, that's fine. And you've got hotels in Madrid and Puerto Rico, so you know when you go to these foreign countries to get a towel, it'll be the same kind of towel you can get in America. Yes, Fred.
I think we better watch, Mr. Hilton. This place may be a hotel by tomorrow.
It will, too. Mr. Hilton, thank you very much, sir, for being a guest a little bit out of the ordinary on What's My Line and for having a lot of good fun with us and with the family. Nice to see you. You take it out of the book, Mr. Hilton. All right, panel, let's see what we can do very rapidly with a final challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please, sir? Mr. X. Mr. Alex Tansman, and where are you from, sir?
New York.
Fine. You come over here and sit down right with me, will you? Panel, this is going to be a test. I want you to move very rapidly because we're going to have about a minute and a half. See if you can find out exactly what we're up to. You know how to score this, Mr. Tansman?
Yeah.
Fine. Then we'll very quickly let the people at home and here in the theater know what your line is and then put the panel to work. All right. Mr. Tansman is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Is there a product involved in what you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it useful?
Yes,
Would it be found in the home?
yes,
Do you imagine I've ever had anything to do with this?
yes,
Would it ever be found in the kitchen?
yes.
Does it have anything to do with food?
Well,
Has anything to do with food?
no.
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does it have anything to do with water?
With water? 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Would a person ever carry it around?
Yes.
Would you carry it around?
In a manner of speaking, you'd carry it around.
Would you
yes.
carry it in your hand rather than on your head? Oh, you would carry it on your head, huh? Would you
Well,
carry it on your head, John, for fun?
Yeah, you could for fun. Mm-hmm.
Is it anything in the hat family?
Yes.
It is something in the hat family. Is it anything in the chef's family?
The chef's family? No, and boy, I think it's a good thing we ran out of time. We'll throw the chips in, but you were getting awfully close. Mr. Tansman makes Davy Crockett hats. He has the Walt Disney contract. Oh, fine. Mr. Tansman is going to give his winnings to the Hot Fund and go back and start making Walt Disney's wonderful hats. And thank you, Mr. Tansman. Sorry, we didn't have more time to spend. Nice to see you. We'll be back in just a moment. But first, here is Arlene Gray for Stopettes.
You never saw a headline like this, and you never will. People expect news every day. And they expect news in the things they buy, too. And that's why the news of this new product made welcome headlines. It's Stopette in a brand new cream form for those who prefer a cream deodorant. And it's a true cream, gentle and soothing, with no harsh evaporating alcohol. Its new swivel case works just like a lipstick. This is a new twist in deodorants, and it means no stubborn jars, no gooey fingers, no waste, nothing to wash off. And this new Stopette cream gives you Stopette's famous three-way protection. It's a deodorant, it's an antiperspirant, and like Stopette spray, it also soothes. So try this new Stopette cream deodorant. It's the new way to smooth away perspiration.
Now, before our little collection of Davy Crockett say goodnight, may I remind you to tune in again next Sunday evening at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series.
Father's Day is Sunday, June 19th. Why don't you give that peach of a guy a peach of a gift? The fast, clean-shaving, comfortable Remington electric shaver. Remember, the Remington is so gentle it can shave the short, close fuzz off a peach without harming that tender skin. Here, the guard is removed so you can see the fuzz fall. Yet the Remington is so powerful it can shave the tough bristles off a brush. Father's Day, give Dad the shave he's always wanted. Give him the Remington shave.
And now you'll have a lot of laughter explained to you, because until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, John. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Mrs. Crockett.
I'm Daisy Crockett, Queen of the Wild Frontier. Good night, John.
You send that back to Keith over tomorrow. John.
And Mr. Tansman, as you can see, brought one for everybody. Here's mine. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
Transportation for What's My Line is arranged through American Airlines, America's leading airline, serving 77 major cities throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This has
So then I came to America and married my husband. You know, married wife is not, you married her. And how many children do you have?
I don't have any yet. I'm expecting my first one.
Yeah, I thought so. And Ruth is your mother?
Excuse me?
Your parents?
Oh, they're at home now, but
It's your brother?
no, he's just a friend.
Now,
He
these are
goes to
just
the same confirmation.
two of the students from my class. These are my students.
On the Hebrew class?
In the Hebrew class, yeah. The rest of the class is there's two teachers.
Do you read? Let us speak Hebrew. Because it was a greater desire to go to America than to any other place. And we were fortunate.
This was unplugged.
Oh, you didn't connect?
Oh, no, it wasn't connected.
Sister here, and they send us out all the necessary documents, the passport, so we should be able to come to America.
Okay, a special light so we can get
I'm sure you the Hebrew.
How did he learn it? Did they speak in this?
We went to yeshiva, we went to Hebrew.
Whoa.
Just take it on one picture.
With your daughters?
And then move
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
I'm very fine girl, a very fine show. Fine, she called me to read that Times today. One but I'm alone. Not so good for you.
Should I stop it?
You don't have to, you can just move to the next one. Either way, it uses up the
My father
battery.
was a very
If
fine
the
guy.
lamp is in the way, let's move.
Oh.
Then we'll put it back.
But when if you find something that you
You can
love
move
to
the
do,
camera too if it'll help you
never
get a better
quit.
shot.
well, you should take it up again.
Fine, I got it.
Remember,
It's just crooked.
Is the lift still here?
Okay, let's get close.
Is it what?
Then you can.
Lift still, you know?
Yes, yes, yes.
See that little picture?
Oh, that's an I see now.
Yeah, the new film, telling us.
The yellow one. He's really nice. He's very nice.
Is this your husband?
When he went to college. He graduated, but and how many children do you have?
I don't have any yet. I'm expecting my first one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Finally, thank you to Ruth, Shoshi, Danny, Zahava, and the kids for your endless tolerance with the demands of a schedule that tests all family patience. And thank you, Mr. President, for your trust, your confidence, and friendship. Serving in your administration has allowed me to live out those values my parents instilled in me. And I look forward to continuing with the challenge.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. President Trump traveling the country, laying out his tax reform agenda. Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp joined him in North Dakota as he touted the Republican plan to lower taxes and overhaul current tax code. Joining us right now to talk about this and so much more is former Treasury Secretary Jack Lew, and we welcome him this morning. Good morning.
Good to be with you.
We can talk taxes, and I want to go there in just one second, but I just want to get your sort of other thoughts, because one of the big stories of the morning has been the fate and future of Gary Cohn and whether he was going to join the Fed or maybe had been a front runner for that, and whether he would leave. Do you have a take on if you were in the administration, what do you think would happen right about now?
I'm not sure my instincts would necessarily mirror the instincts of the current administration. I can just say that I think the current Fed leadership has done an extraordinary job. Janet Yellen has done a great job as chair, Stan and others, members of the board. The Fed plays an extremely important non-political role. It's a hard job, and it deserves a serious person.
Knowing what you know, though, with Fisher out, how does that change the dynamic in the room?
Look, obviously, the Fed is harder to manage in a world where you have fewer votes and there are decisions that have to be made by a majority. I think it's still going to be a stable decision-making body. But when I was Treasury Secretary, I wanted to have a full Fed board. I still think that's the right way to proceed. I'm not sure why it's treated as a matter of less than urgent importance by Congress and others.
Everybody from apparently Steve Bannon, who's going to be on 60 Minutes this weekend, to Larry Summers, has said that Gary Cohn should resign. Do you think, would you tell him to resign?
Look, over the events in Charlottesville, you mean, or?
And perhaps also just the situation he is now in.
Look, I can't speak to his situation in the administration. You know, I respect the comments he made after Charlottesville, and I think I'll leave it at that.